Well, this weekend is Easter, but for the first time in America's history, the country's Christians will not be able to celebrate it with one another, even if they want to. Most governments in this country will not allow them to gather in churches. Mississippi is under lockdown. All non-essential businesses are closed. That means the liquor stores, of course, are still open. They're essential. Churches are not essential, according to the state. King James Bible Baptist Church has been trying to hold drive-in services. That means parishioners remain in their cars during it, but cops showed up anyway and raided it.
This is King James Bible Baptist Church, where Pastor Hamilton, where I'm the pastor of the church at. I'm a good citizen. Ain't breaking no law, ain't selling no drugs. I'm just preaching the word of God. And look at all these police cars here.
That was Pastor James Hamilton you heard on the tape. We're happy to have him on with us tonight, along with Kelly Shackelford, president of the First Liberty Institute. Thanks so much for coming on, both of you. First to you, Pastor, what exactly were you doing wrong?
We wasn't doing anything wrong. We was abiding by the CDC guidelines that the city of Greenville had put in place, also the state of Mississippi. Our members of the church was inside of their cars, had their windows up, and I was preaching the word of God. So no one was outside, and also we had cars at a distance. And so legally, we wasn't doing anything wrong. We was going by the CDC guidelines. And so I don't understand why the police officer would come to our church and try to break it up.
Well, it's totally outrageous. Kelly Shackelford, I assume that when this happened, every civil rights group in America jumped to the pastor's defense, right?
I don't know about that. We certainly did. The order that's in Greenville is just massively unconstitutional. It targets churches in a way that it targets no other group. So cars in parking lots are fine. It's only a crime if the cars in the parking lot are at the church parking lot. And I mean, look at last night. You had probably 6, 7 or so cars there for the church, and yet they were surrounded by police. And I don't know if you saw the video, Tucker, but one of the police officers came up to Pastor Hamilton and said that because of these orders, because of that local order in Greenville, Mississippi, that his rights were suspended. Those are the specific words he used. Like, your constitutional rights are gone now. Well, I don't know what country he thinks he's living in, but your rights aren't suspended. And I would just tell any church that has any of these issues or whatever, we have a lot of this information. Go to firstliberty.org, just spell out First Liberty. It'll tell you that you do have rights, that we want to follow the CDC guidelines. We don't want people to be injured in any way, and that's what this church did.
Course.
That doesn't give people the right to discriminate against churches and treat them in this kind of way.
Well, of course it doesn't. So, Pastor, I mean, I'm not against liquor stores, but liquor stores don't answer the question, what happens when you die, which is something maybe would be nice to know now that people are dying from this pandemic. How do you feel that liquor stores get to continue, but you can't celebrate Easter in church?
I think of it like this. I believe that liquor, beer have killed more people than the coronavirus ever would. And so it's a sad case in America. Whoever ever thought that we would have a government in Greenville that would pass such a law that will allow the liquor stores to have curbside service, but would come to the church and try to disrupt a church service. I would have never dreamed in 1,000 years that America, the home of the brave and the land of the free, will ever pass such law that would consider a liquor store essential, but a church non-essential. I am shocked.
So 87,000 Americans died of alcohol last year. This epidemic is projected to kill 60,000. So you're absolutely right, technically. Factually, you're right. I just want to go out on this. I would like to know, and if you know the name, I hope you'll say it on the air, who made this decision to let liquor stores get a pass but hassle your church with armed police officers? What politician decided that was a good idea, Pastor?
Eric Simmons, he's a mayor. He's a supporter of Joe Biden. He made a decision that because most of the virus was linked to, he said, to the churches. So that's why he came down very hard on the churches to not have drive-in service. I can tell you, when 20 plus cars came to our church, we felt, not just me, we felt intimidated. We felt frightened. And I heard about this in China. I heard this about in communist country, but I would never thought that I would feel so afraid and my people would feel so frightened and intimidated by police officers.
So you hear about civil rights violations. This is an actual civil rights violation. Pastor, thanks so much for coming on. Kelly Shackelford, we appreciate your coming too. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.